Dana White has ruined the heavyweight division. And this is not just about the Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall thing, which, by the way, we are June 2nd, halfway through 2025, and we still have no news on whether or not this is going to happen. And as always, I don't get it. Why has nothing happened yet? Heavyweight is supposed to be like the premier division of any combat sport, right? Everybody's supposed to look at like the heavyweight division in boxing, heavyweight division this, heavyweight division that, and like everybody wants to see who the baddest man on the planet is. But we're just sitting around and nothing is happening. The last interesting fight that happened at heavyweight was Volkov and Gunn, and that ended in highway robbery. And I am going to be pointing out in this video all of the ways where Dana is dropping the ball with the heavyweight division. And maybe with the UFC in general, to be honest. Now that I'm thinking more and more about it, things are going awry, to say the least. And I think we need to fix something. But before I do, if you wouldn't mind, hit the like and subscribe button. Helps with the algorithm, helps grow the channel. So obviously the first brutal thing that's going on right now is the issue between Tom Aspinall and Jon Jones. Jon Jones won the belt off of Gunn, or won the undisputed belt off of Gunn like 3 years ago, and then he got injured like 2 Novembers ago, and then he finally came back and defended his belt against Stipe Miocic, and now we've heard radio silence since then. In the meantime, we had Tom Aspinall fight for an interim championship where he beat Sergey Pavlovich, who's supposed to be the scariest dude ever, with relative ease. Then he defended his interim belt against Curtis Blades, who, by the way, Jon Jones said, I study tape. I read people. Curtis Blades is a nightmare for Tom Aspinall, and he's going to win. Yeah, how did that go? Right? And now, since that point, it has now been what? A year? Almost a year? Since Tom defended his interim belt, he showed the respect he needed. Okay, let Stipe have his retirement fight. Okay, now that that's over, you've defended your heavyweight title against Stipe, who, by the way, didn't fight since getting knocked out by Francis Ngannou. Now it's my turn. But here we are, 6 months later, still nothing has been done. Tom Aspinall is in the prime of his life. The shelf life of a fighter is short, as we all know. And he's wasting it waiting around for somebody who's already got all the accolades, right? Who's already had an incredible career. And if this is not Jon Jones's MO, like I don't know what is. So, for this, enough is enough. Jon Jones needs to be stripped. We need to move on. Something needs to happen with the heavyweight division. But this is not the only part of this, right? Right now, Dana messed this part up too. Right now in the world, there is still one heavyweight that can raise his hand and say, nope, I'm the best in the world. And he doesn't fight for the UFC. And I'm talking about Francis Ngannou, right? And if I am Dana White right now, which I know he hates to do this, he hates to admit he's wrong, he hates to admit he's screwed up, but if I'm Dana White, I am picking up the phone and I am saying, Francis, we will give you whatever amount of money Jon Jones asked for, we will give that to you if you come back and fight Tom Aspinall. That's what I would do, because that's what I want to see. The real heavyweight champion of the world is Francis Ngannou. He never lost his belt with the UFC, but because of trade negotiations and Dana saying, oh, I don't want him boxing, he went and he fought. Now he fights for the PFL. And I know his stock went down a little bit after losing in boxing to Anthony Joshua, but still, my boy Francis Ngannou is the heavyweight champion of the world with PFL. And really and truly, the most interesting fight right now is not Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall wins that. There's no doubt about that in my mind. The most interesting fight at heavyweight right now is Tom Aspinall versus Francis Ngannou. That is the only fight that I want to see at heavyweight. And let me just say this, right? This is a bigger issue altogether. I made a video a few months back just about the sorry state of the heavyweight division and how it's basically just a bunch of obese people who could be like, you know, light heavyweights or even middleweights if they applied themselves. Like they have no business being a heavyweight if they paid a little bit of attention to their diet and trained regular. Like I don't even know if these guys train regularly, right? Because it's like they're so out of most of the other than like there's the top 8, right? There's the top 8 at heavyweight that are pretty good. And then there's everybody else at heavyweight who like have these big bellies and they're short and they're fat and they're just like they're it's a sorry excuse. And the thing is, right? Because of I think even Sean Strickland pointed this out, and I think this was a few years ago, and I think he's right. Like Dana and the UFC just doesn't pay enough to get real athletes in the door, right? People who are really good athletes who are in that sort of heavyweight category, who they're going to football, they're going to basketball, they're going to sports that pay way more money. And that's not to say, maybe they do, maybe they don't have what it takes to be a fighter, right? Who knows? But like, look at the heavyweight division right now. It's terrible. It's terrible. Like everybody is, Daryl Glue says, like we're all a bunch of fat guys. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Like, I went to UFC Edmonton last November, and I think it was on the main card or something like that. Like there was a heavyweight fight, and it was so bad, guys. Like it was so bad. The one guy, he kind of did some grappling in the beginning, but then he got tired, and then he just like kneed the guy a few times, and then they broke it up, and then round 2 comes along and both of them are exhausted, so they're like slugging it out just like one punch at a time in the most like sloppy way I've ever seen. And I'm just like, man, like there needs to be some sort of physical fitness test, right, for the heavyweight division. Like yeah, the UFC needs to put up some more money to get some like real good athletes to come in the door uh in the combat sports world, because like these fat truckers are not cutting it anymore. And then the other thing too is like there should be a minimum fitness level. Like you should be able to prove that you can go 15 minutes, like do some sort of heavy bag test. Like, you have to go for 15 minutes punching a heavy bag, doing at least, I don't know, 20 punches around, something. I don't even know. Like 30 punches around. I don't know. But like it's just insane. So, to me, the big thing that needs to happen here is they need to strip Jon Jones. They need to have Tom Aspinall at least move on and start defending his belt. And if I am the head of the UFC, I am doing whatever it takes to get Francis Ngannou to come back and fight Tom Aspinall for the real heavyweight championship of the world. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.